All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's live stream. Today, we're going to take a look at the crypto market and the Forex market. I'm seeing some pretty interesting moves today. So we're going to see if why is the posters the wrong way? That's weird. This might be better. No, not much. All right. That's better. All right, guys, let's do this. All right, so I had some issues. I don't know what happened. I had to restart the PC, so I'm a little bit late here, but hopefully you guys are waiting for me patiently. It's like you should be patiently waiting for your trades to set up. Anyway, so I wish you were all here because I got this fantastic smell in my office. Now, yeah, that's probably something you want to hear every day, but like I've done this. I have had this big steak in a slow cooker. So I did this, pulled beef thing, and it smells a lot when I do it in the kitchen because the smell kind of rises up to my bedroom. So I wake up in the middle of the night and it smells beef, and I'm like, not the perfect smell. But today I went down into my office and I remembered I pulled the slow cooker and I put it in the basement where I have my office. So I came down and there's this beautiful smoky beefy flavor, and I also had an espresso, so it smells like it's a mix between smoked beef and espresso, and I'm just here just loving it. All right, fantastic. Oh, we got Tronald Dump in here. Beautiful. Welcome, my man. This is like a long-term troll of mine, which I'm very, very appreciative of. I love all the. It's not, not a hater, obviously, but it's just weird. It's a weird guy. Weird guy that keeps following me around. All right, so yeah, the big moves that I'm talking about, you could see in the thumbnail and in the title, it says like big move happening right now. That's clickbait, right? Yes, so we're clear on that. It's clickbait. So you guys are going to click the video and watch me, and then you're going to see me do it all upside down, flipping with the camera, and you're going to be like, this is fun. I'm going to continue to watch this. Right, so I do, however, see some interesting moves, right? What I want to talk about today is, first of all, we found, the system on trading is a swing trading system. It's a trend following system. So you could imagine that when the market is trending, it's ranging. So when it's ranging, you don't have a lot of trends, obviously. So when you don't have a lot of trends in the markets, you don't have a lot of trend following setup systems going to work, I feel very confused. I should definitely drink less coffee. But I took a decision to not drink coffee after 1 p.m., which means I need to drink a shit ton of coffee before lunch to fill up my reserves for the rest of the day, and I'm this new espresso machine, I'm just loving it. Anyway, so I've had like two weeks, last week and the week before that, with very, very few setups, not a lot of setups going on, and then yesterday, Monday's not yesterday, but on Monday, which is Wednesday today, so 2 days ago, it was Monday, and on Monday I found very many very many setups, and I'm gonna walk you through those. And why I'm telling you this is because trading is all about waiting. All right, guys, trading is not about, actually a very small part about a full-time trader's life and day is about actually trading, putting in the orders and setting the stop loss and making money. That's just a very small part about what trading is actually about. Trading has more to do with waiting, right? It's a waiting game. You have to sit on your hands. I'm sure most of you see here, people posting on Twitter and stuff like that. They say, trading is a waiting game. And it's 100% true, right? The most of the time, the best trade is not to take a trade at all. And the reason why that is the fact, and that is the one of the most important thing I need you guys to remember, is because over trading leads to failure 100% of the time. I'd say 99% of the time. Over trading leads to failure. Why? That's because if you look at my system, for example, on Monday we had 4 possible setups, right? 4 possible setups. I'm going to show you which ones these are. It's USD CAD, which I'm currently in. It's a very boring trade. I don't like it. Probably going to exit this one because we do have the CPI coming out today, right? CPI numbers from USA, PPI. I thought that was tomorrow. All right, let's look. Yeah, CPI today. What the fuck's PPI? Anyway, so we got the core inflation rate here, CPI, coming out in not too long. So I'm probably gonna close this trade right here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna close this one because we have a major news event and probably gonna stop me out anyway with the volatility. But this was. Well, yeah, I promise you 100% I'm never going to use clock bait. That's not the way I do things. No clock bait on this channel. I promise you that. Not going to trick you. All right, so this is one setup I found on Monday, which is quite like it. And then you had that GBP USD short right here. Yeah, I'm gonna go through. So I have a lot of DMs on Twitter and everywhere, Discord. So I'm gonna go through them after the live stream and make sure that I have everything covered. So don't worry, I'm gonna get to you. And something I just want to comment on this, like the reason why you sometimes have to use titles, which is like trying to get your attention. It's not about you guys. It's not about my long-term followers, right? It's about it's all about activating the YouTube algo. So it's a sad reality and a sad truth that on YouTube, it's all about, if you want to grow your YouTube channel, it's very hard to do it 100% organically, right? You have to in some way activate the YouTube algo, and you do that that's why you're gonna see all the big crypto influencers. They're gonna do like faces where they're screaming, and it's gonna be like terrible thumbnails, and the title's gonna be like alert, 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 danger, you're gonna die if you don't click this, and it works really, really well. It really, really works. It activates the YouTube algo because the YouTube algo prioritizes the extreme, right? So to get in there and to make a little bit difference, like to activate that algo, you need to have a catchy title, right? You can't just have live trading session with libs. It's not gonna work, right? So that's the reason why you kind of have to do stuff like that. And what I try to do is I try to find a balance. And today's live is called big moves happening, and it's because you look at the forex market, you actually have some pretty decent big moves happening. You're looking at Euro CHF right here, you're looking at oil. These are the moves I'm referring to, but it's not like I'm looking at Bitcoin and I'm gonna put a thumbnail up and say we have a big move going on like this. It's just not really, it's not really like that, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of understand that everyone on YouTube kind of has to follow the rules of the algorithm to even make an impact on this site. That's a sad reality, I'm afraid. But you're never gonna see me. You're never gonna see me do that open face screaming thumbnail. Maybe, maybe once I'll do that for fun. But I think it's pretty goddamn retarded what most of people are doing on here. Anyway, so this USD CAD was the first setup, and then we had a short, and we watched this on our last live stream. This was a really nice one right here. Hit TP1 and hit TP2, and we're now looking for a potential new entry. But then again, we have the CPI data coming up from USA, which means any trade using a USD pair, we have to be careful trading that, obviously. And then we have Euro CHF right here, which is obviously, I mean, the euro is dying, right? Interestingly enough, we have Euro USD at parity, which is pretty cool. Is it even called parity? I don't know, but it means that one euro is 1 euro is worth 1 USD, and yeah, you can kind of see it right here. That's pretty awesome. Historic moment right here. Haven't happened since, I believe, 2002, maybe. Let's see when that happened last time. Yeah, 2002, that's right. So that's pretty crazy. Euro is not really liking this. It's all Putin's fault anyway. So we got USD CAD, GBP, USD, EUR/CHF, and then we had that oil short, which worked out beautifully, hit TP2. So that's it. And I like the fact that, you have many setups coming at the same time on one day, which means that you have to always be available to listen and observe and do whatever the markets tells you to do, and not you need to listen and observe and kind of follow price action and do what the market wants you to do, right? And not try to force your analysis or not analysis or try to force a trade on the chart which is not there. You just have to be patient and wait. So I've been waiting for like two weeks, right? I had like maybe one or two trades during those two weeks, and then after 2 weeks, all of a sudden I have 4 trades in one day. So the lesson there is like you just have to wait, and the most dangerous time as a trader is when your system is not giving you any trades, because what you do when the system stops giving you trades is because what you do is you start trying to find something that's not there because you really want to take a trade. Imagine if you're taking 1 trade on Monday, 2 trades on Tuesday, and 1 trade on Thursday. That's 4 trades in a week, and then there's no trades rest of the week, and then the next week you can't find a single trade. So obviously you're going to say, you're going to get that feeling that you want to trade, you want to be in a position, and you just have to remember that you just have to wait. It's not up to you. Your job is not to trade every day. Your job is just to observe the markets every day. So while at the same time, it's very important in a scenario like that to take a step back, right? Take a step back and observe the situation, but you always have to be focused. You always have to be on high alert because you never know when the trades comes along, right? So you can't just relax and forget about the markets. You have to always every day monitor, scan the markets, and be ready for whatever whenever that happens. All right, yeah, I'll talk about charts, but I do like to have a mix of trading psychology and looking at charts, but I do get stuck sometimes. Like it's been 14 minutes and I've been doing nothing. So yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to look at the charts. Let's look at Bitcoin right here. Yeah, Bitcoin is absolutely invalidating whatever bullish scenario I had. I mean, it wasn't really a bullish scenario. It was just, well, yeah, it was a bullish scenario, but I definitely thought about it as very, 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 very low probability, right? Yeah, I absolutely. It's definitely. I think what you have to do is like when you're watching traders on YouTube, you have to. People that are screaming, just basically like people like the big ones. You know who I'm talking about. The people with the open mouth thumbnails and the clickbaity titles, and people just scream like, "This coin right here is gonna make us millionaires." Like, ignore that. Just ignore that to 100%. Forget about those people. Ignore it. Don't watch that. It's just gonna mess with you, right? It's just gonna mess with you 100%, right? So what you need to do is, like, when you find a new person on YouTube and you look at his analysis and stuff like that, what you have to kind of try to figure out is, first of all, is that person only showing you winners? If that guy is only showing you winners, that's a red flag, right? That's a red flag. You need to understand that most professional traders, they have a win rate of around 50%. Some months they have 30%, some months they have 60%, but I would say around 50% and even less than that, which means they are either losing the same amount of trades that they are winning, or they're even losing more trades than they are winning. So if they're on YouTube and they are in that category where most people are, around 50%, and they're trading professionally, it should absolutely be the fact that they are going to show you a lot of losers. And if they can't show you a lot of losers, they're probably not trading for real, right? And if they do have a win rate of 70 or 80%, which means they're not losing a lot, well, make them prove that to you. You have to watch their trading journal, show the trades live to make sure that they're actually real, right? And then, of course, also, how are they dealing with the losses, right? Do they talk about how they're actually dealing with the losses, the psychology behind it? And it's very important, guys, because I would say that 90% of the traders on YouTube are not traders, right? They're not even making a living trading. They're making a living making YouTube clips, right? You got to understand this. Social media is a business. You can make a lot of money being on social media. So most of these people that you scream, buy this and buy that, they're not even traders. And you're taking advice from people who can't fucking trade, right? So remember that when you're watching these goddamn, I don't know, man, I can't even call them traders, like this social media marketing guys, right? And they're telling you to buy Link because Link is an amazing product and it's going to go 200% no questions, right? Ignore that. Just ignore it, right? Because another very important part about trading is you got to trade for yourself. You got to trade for yourself, man. All right? Like, you can't follow other people in trading, right? That's why I don't really care about giving you guys setups and telling you what to do, but I care much more about telling you how you can trade like me, how you can find the same setups like me. It's super simple, right? The hard part is what happens after you enter the trade, the psychology part of the trading part. So please, guys, it's like there's a lot of predatory influencers out there, which is trying to steal your money. They're going to get you wrecked, right? So ignore 90% of all of those people out there, all right? Please do. All right, so now let's look at Bitcoin. And obviously, Bitcoin is not doing anything interesting right here. It's in a range. So we got to be honest, like I can't really give you much on Bitcoin. It's just it's not really telling us much right here. So we look at the daily. Obviously, what we see right here is a pretty obvious range. And you know me, I don't really trade. I don't really trade ranges. Let's try to just make a try to draw like a more general range right here, right? So we could say that this area right here would be the range lows, the range low area right here, like this, right? And then, of course, with a range, you always have a range EQ, and you would want that range EQ to be around the 50% line, the middle of that EQ, and it kind of lines up. You definitely have a support area right here. And then the range highs obviously would be the highs, right? So we can remove that range tool. Now, what I find interesting, and particularly interesting with this range right here, is if you zoom out, right? Let's look at the weekly, and you zoom out on Bitcoin, that middle line, that horizontal line right there, that is the midpoint of the RLC measured from 0 to 69. So the beginning of Bitcoin's, well, I guess it's the beginning, but it's from 0 to 69 at the top right here. And that brings in the middle of that reload zone at the range EQ of this range. So I would say that we are in a significantly important area for Bitcoin. And if we can break above the range highs right here and continue higher, there is a possibility that this might actually be the high time frame bottom for Bitcoin. What makes me say that? Well, first of all, we're inside the high time frame reload zone. We're creating a range around the midpoint of that reload zone. The MBRBC score is in the buy area. The NUPL is in capitulation area. All I need to see is the reclaim of the daily 50 EMA. A reclaim of the daily 50 EMA would actually kind of start confirming to me that this is the high time frame bottom. So imagine if we get something like this, and then perhaps a reclaim of the daily 50 somewhere here. Wouldn't that kind of make sense for a high time frame bottom for Bitcoin? Now, of course, we have somewhat of a trend line area going here. I would say that would be quite significant. So we would break above that trend, right? And then, of course, we would probably have to really reclaim like this area right here. I think that would be like the absolute best confirmation of this being a bottom, because what you have then is a downtrend, range, downtrend, range, uptrend, and then you have a break in market structure. All right, that's weird. So you have downtrend, range, and a break in market structure, right? And that would be probably what we expect the high time frame bottom to look like. Like we had a range here and a break in market structure here. So that's probably what we're looking at for a high time frame bottom of Bitcoin. And now you're watching this and you're gonna say, well, a reclaim of the 50, the daily 50 EMA. That's a 25% move from current prices. So let's say in a couple of days, it's going to be 25. So you'll have to miss out on 25% profit. Well, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Because if you buy the reclaim of the daily 50 and you're aiming for around the highs, that's still going to be 150 to 200% move to the upside. So it's definitely worth it, right? Now, if you wait for a reclaim of this general area around here, it's still going to be 130, 150% move to the upside. So it's still a lot of gains for a long-term long on Bitcoin. I have started accumulating Bitcoin and Ethereum along these levels, but I'm also only filled about 10% of my desired position, because I am very aware of the global macroeconomics that is going on right now, and the fact that there is a possibility that we will enter a pretty nasty recession, right? It's definitely possible with the way stuff is moving right now. So obviously you don't want to go all in on risk assets if we do enter such a environment, because it's not the Bitcoin is not going to pump. So I know a lot of people, they talk about how Bitcoin was supposed to be a hedge against inflation, but guys, it's like Bitcoin is a risk asset. It's going to trade just like any other risk assets out there. It's not like people are all of a sudden choosing to put all their money in Bitcoin when everything else is just falling. That's not how it works. Investors are going to be very fearful of putting their money to work in an environment where everything is pretty much crashing, right? However, when the macroeconomics of the world starts stabilize, whatever that word is, and the inflation starts to kind of cool down, and stuff like that, I think at that point the bottom might actually already be in, but you're going to have more confirmation of buying that bottom. So I would recommend that instead of trying to time the bottom, wait for the bottom to be put in and then start accumulating whatever assets you're looking to accumulate. I have no interest in any other coins right now other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. While Ethereum is a much smaller position than Bitcoin, I wouldn't say I'm a Bitcoin maximalist at any. I'm used to trading. I'm used to money maximalist, right? I'm a profit maximalist. So I'm just looking at the safest and most reliable asset in the crypto space, which is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin and then Ethereum is what I would say. Then if I would buy any other altcoins, it would probably just be a mix of some of the bigger ones, like I don't know, Link, perhaps, projects that have been active for quite some time. They have an active, strong team. They have a working product. They have something to offer. And then, of course, I would put perhaps 5 or 10% of the overall crypto portfolio. I would put perhaps in 5 to 10 low cap altcoins. So I would take like 1% of my portfolio in a small cap altcoin, and then I would risk perhaps the whole position on that altcoin. And if it does a 10x, I'll make 10% on the portfolio, right? Which is would obviously be quite interesting. Anyway, so that's the view on the Bitcoin right now. Yes, matter of fact, I do have place where I do share my system. I actually have some. I actually have. Man, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I've got something planned. That's all I can say. I got something planned, something I know a lot of you have been waiting for, and hopefully a lot of you can be quite excited about. A way for me to share the system in a way where you'll learn the ins and outs of it. So if you're interested, you can send a DM to me on Twitter, and we'll talk some. I'm gonna go through all my Twitter DMs after the live stream, so just let me know on DM and we can talk. I like DOT, but it's hard to trust anything right now. Yeah, so DOT is another one which, guys, I'm not a fundamental trader. I don't really know anything about any crypto products. I don't really care. All I know is Bitcoin is king, and I know a lot about Bitcoin, and I love the technology around Bitcoin. The global financial and the political implication of Bitcoin getting mainstream adoption is like that's definitely part of a world where I want to. I want to belong in a world where Bitcoin gets the recognition it deserves. That's why I'm heavily interested in investing in Bitcoin when it bottoms out, for several reasons, right? But yeah, this is not a market to be buying. This is not a market to be trust. It's not a trustworthy market. But then again, we can make money shorting, right? So Bitcoin is in a range, right? And we're bouncing off range lows right here. So would this be possible? Would it be possible to take a long right here? Well, let's add the indicators of the system, and let's see if we have any long setting up right here. And no, did you see that? Did you see? It's like a sneak peek of what I've been working on, right? Lots of good short setups right here. Well, not really. There's two. They would all get stopped up, but who cares? So. Yeah, when English, yeah, I don't know, man. So a rejection at the range EQ would be a possible short, but then again, I would have to put the fib from the top of this move to the low, and it's so no trade on Bitcoin. Not going to trade Bitcoin inside this range. However, there might be something interesting on an altcoin. So if Bitcoin is going to reject at the range EQ right here, we might see an altcoin that might get rejected around that area, and one of them is actually Link. So this would be a short on Link, but because of the fact that you got CPI data coming out, it will most likely affect the crypto markets as well. So I don't think we should be trading crypto today. All right, not today. Maybe in the evening. It's just too risky, right? It's way too risky to be trading Bitcoin around this time right here. So it's happening in 3 hours. Yeah, I'm counting on my fingers here, and I still can't figure it out. Is Libs 42 bootcamp some hint for the future? Where did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Something here? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I might have had a tab open in a live stream, whatever. You sneaky bastard. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think there's a lot of trades going on in the crypto market right now. Let's get back. This is completely invalidated. The whole idea of getting a move up to the next resistance completely invalidated. This idea is dead. And then we had like this one we looked at, completely invalidated. Nothing's going on right here. So, and every possible long setups we looked at in our last last market scans and that sort of stuff is completely invalidated. You see all of this, it's just gone. Everything's just gone. So we need to see something new happening and something new. So we need to see something new forming right here, and nothing's happening right now, right? So we we have a downtrend, but still, again, Bitcoin is in a range. So I think we have two options right here, and that would be to short an altcoin when Bitcoin gets rejected at range EQ, or wait for Bitcoin to break below range low and then short just everything, right? So that's the two. That's not on you. That's going to be on my OnlyFans page. So probably not going to go public with that one, I'm afraid. So we look at the altcoin market, and what we have to figure out is like, do we have any coins that might give us that rejection? And pretty much everything is lining up for that scenario, because everything moves with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin shows something interesting, altcoins will basically show the same price structure, right? So you look at this story. I don't like, why do you use these letters in a ticker? Story. So what are you trading today? I'm trading Story USDT. Story USDT. Yeah, nice. So right here around the 4-hour 20 EMA and the 4-hour 50 EMA and weekly open, that's where we might get a rejection on Story. And on Rune, we're looking at an area around the kind of like around the weekly open here. But there's like still, again, Bitcoin is in a range. I think we shouldn't spend too much time looking at the crypto market today. It's just too messy, too noisy, and too risky. So let's take a quick look at the Forex market to see if we have anything going on right here. I will close this trade. Like, I really don't want to close this trade, but I kind of have to. I will instead put in a stop loss. I've already, it didn't even hit my TP1. So I need to take some profits. All right, so I'll exit here. So give me a second. All right, I'm out of that one. And the reason why I'm exiting this one, so if it would have hit my TP1, I would have moved my stop down here. And that would give me some room for the CPI data to come out and perhaps move something like this, right? And if the CPI data comes out and it dumps completely, I'm still in a small profit because I've exited 25 here and then I exit the position here. So I'm just trying to give the trade some room. But now, because I haven't taken some profits on this trade, I would rather just get out with a small profit than and this would be like a 0.4 R trade that I got out of this one, which is very, very small, of course, but it's all about taking profits when possible, right? And the risk of holding this position open while we have the CPI data coming out is just too big, right? Too big. So that one is I'm out of that one. GBP USD. I'm not in this one because we failed, like we never opened that one. But if you're in this one, if you followed that one from the live stream where we looked at this one, I would put a stop loss right about that wick right there, because this is also a USD pair. And the good thing of with this one is we have 50% of the position open. So even with an exit here, it would still be like 1.5 R trade. So that's not too good, but still pretty decent. Euro CHF, if you're in this one, it have hit TP2 at this point, and we have 50% of the position still open. I would move stop loss to right above that high right there, and it really does look like it wants to continue lower and hit that stop loss right there. And then the next one, I've looked at a short on UK 100. I'm not going to short that one. It's doesn't look as good anymore. We had a short on oil, and it has hit TP1 and TP2, and then I have TP3 for 50% all the way down here, based on the daily, where I'm basically going to front run this level right here. And this is also, of course, traded, this particular one right here, traded against the USD. It will also most likely get affected by the news event. So what I'm waiting for here before moving, what am I saying? I'm not even in this one. I missed out on this one as well. For some reason, I can't remember why I didn't enter this one, but I definitely missed out on this one. I had a great confirmation of a trade right here, but I missed out on that one. So what I'm waiting for here on oil is either a move back up here and then like this, or something like this. And I'm going to move my stop up to above the high wherever that happens, and then let the trade run. So you'll see that a lot of my trades, I'm giving back a lot of profits to the markets, right? A lot of my trades will be small winners. All my losers will be small. Like, all my losers will be small. There will all be -1R. My winners will be somewhere between half an R and 1R, 2R, or sometimes even 3 or 4R. But it's all about letting the trade run and giving the trade the opportunity to let itself play out, right? So it's very important to, instead of exiting at market, you put in a stop loss. By the way, guys, I haven't even told you to like the video. So like the video, and if you like these live streams, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm working on a schedule where I'm going to go live on a like a predetermined schedule. So you're gonna know what days and what times I'm going live. And I can't promise you, but I will try to also go live later in the evening or around daytime, so that people from Australia or wherever you are in the world are gonna be able to watch me live without getting up at 4 in the morning, which obviously you're not gonna do that. All right, so if you have any shorting requests, you want me to look at any charts for you guys, we can do that for the last 50 minutes of the live stream. So let's start with looking at Cardano ADA, the use case token. All right, so yeah, it's breaking down. So it actually did break down, and so it's a breakdown and underside retest on daily, and you're absolutely right about that. This looks great. This looks really good for a break and retest trade, and it's very, very obvious what we're looking at. We're looking at something like this, right? Now let's look at the 4 hour to see if we have any setup, any level right here, so we can use the I think we want to put it perhaps somewhere here, right? I think that kind of makes sense. Now, the problem with this trade is we have to put a fib on this, right? And if we put a fib here, we will need to put that fib from that high to this low, and the area of interest is much lower than the interesting fib levels, right? So what I would want to do is I would wait for Cardano to test this level right here, somewhere here, right? That would be my area of interest for Cardano or ADA. But then when that means it's kind of above that support area once again, right? So it's rather scary getting in on the trade here, but it does look quite interesting, because the trade, we would then want to short Cardano here, And that would be our last TP, that minus 618. And the stop loss, I would probably want to have the stop loss somewhere here, right? So that would be the trade. And I quite like this actually. So I'm going to put an alert right here. But we need to be careful. We need to be very sure that the confirmation is good. Everything needs to line up quite perfectly. Do we have a trend line here as well? It kind of looks like we might even come down and test an interesting trend line here. Now, some of you are going to say, why didn't I include that wick? Well, because I don't want to. It looks better without it. But yeah, that might be weird to say, but I do think that when doing TA, it's important to make sure that it looks good. It needs to look good, because if it doesn't look good, it probably doesn't make sense. It needs to make sense. A chart that just doesn't look good is not the perfect setup. Is supposed to be beautiful setup. You pull up the chart and you see like, oh man, that's a beautiful setup. The TA is perfect, right? So remember that. So Rune is actually no, that's ADA. Where do we have? Do we have ADA here? No, we don't. So let's add that one. Let's add Cardano here. We're gonna move all of these down. They're not very interesting anymore, but I definitely think Cardano is one of the most interesting ones to short here. Let's look at BNB as well. No, nothing on BNB. Let's look at Sol. I do think Cardano looks better, but Sol is definitely interesting, and it's interesting that the weekly open is confluent with the 618 right here. So we do have something interesting going on for Sol. We might want to see something like this, right? And the trade setup here is quite obvious, right? We want to have stop loss around here. I would probably, because we have the monthly open right here, I would probably have to take TP1 at the monthly open instead of the 0. And this would be the trade. So it's a 2.6 R trade on average, which is quite nice. I like that. So this might be a trade as well. Do we have a trend line aligning with that? Well, we could have a wick up testing the trend line and then confirming with a engulfing candle. So this definitely looks interesting. So I'm putting some alerts on this one as well. So that's Sol. Let's remove Sol USDT because I have the perp one on FTX up here, right here. So that's Sol. All right, so let's go back to the Forex market to see if we can find any interesting setups. So, all right, let's look at CHF JPY. Let's remove these. Not yet, but something's happening. Let's remove all of this. I have an alert here, so let's see what happens. It's definitely interesting. I can remove this now. Put an alert up here. GBP USD, do we have something interesting going on here? Let's remove all of these as well. So I'm going to stop updating these setups now because I'm not in them myself. So what do we have here? Well, this looks interesting. We might have a trade here later today. So that's still on. Your CHF, I'm removing this one as well. And do we have something interesting going on here? I don't know, but it's definitely keeping that on the list. UK 100 moving down. So you let me know if you want me to look at anything specific, and I'll just switch over. So oil, yeah, let's remove that one as well. And we're going to look at right, so I got about 10 minutes left. see, we got that one. So we have something interesting going on oil here, possible short later today or perhaps tomorrow. And I think it's quite obvious what we want to do here. We want to come up and we want to test the trend line right here, or the reload zone or whatever, like this general area right here. And then we're going to trade that lower down to the same TP area that we had on the previous setups. I'm putting some alerts on here. Euro JPY, not very interesting. Euro USD CHF, this one is very, very interesting. So we're basically looking at a move down in this area right here for a move up to the local highs here, confluent with the minus 618 right here. Let's see, we have a possible short on AVE. Let's see if we have something here on AVE. Possible short. Let's see. Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, so we want to see a move up to that reload zone of the weekly open, down to the monthly open, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, no, I don't think so, because if we don't want to short it above the daily 20. So if we short up here, we're gonna be above the daily 20 and above the 4-hour moving average. So I'm actually not gonna add this to the list. It's all right, but it's not really ticking all the boxes here. So and it's also like you have this level right here, and you would need to get above that, maybe test the daily 50. So I'm not really sure that this is the right one to short. Right, so USD CHF is definitely interesting. Got Euro CAD is interesting, but it needs to have a more significant pullback. So I actually looked at buying the breakdown of that level right here, and never got the retest. But the idea was to wait for the breakdown and then short the retest. That would be a killer trade, like an insanely profitable trade. But usually when you have these big moves right here, the retest isn't really gonna. It's not gonna take its time. It's probably just gonna dump straight through. CAD JPY, I'm waiting for this right here. So I'm waiting for this, right? Break and retest of that level right there. Euro AUD, well, we had a possible setup right here, but yeah, we actually did have a setup here, and I missed that one because it did hit the 618 right here. So yeah, would have hit TP1 at this stage. So we might have something new going on here on this fib or this move right here. So let's see if we can come up, and I would like to see it move a little bit lower, like perhaps down here. And then we could, so I want to see a move like this, right? So put a line on here. Euro GBP, not much going on here. We got Euro NCD, I don't know, Euro USD, NCD, USD, and US 100. All right, so let's look at this from AD CAD. Do we have something going on AD CAD? Perhaps here. That would be something to watch. Putting that up to the first list. We got Euro 50, nothing here. GBP CAD. Interesting. Definitely interesting. So I'm moving that up. GBP CHF. Not interesting. Not interesting. AUD USD looks very good. So I'm now trying to kind of categorize the watch lists here to have a smaller watch list to focus on. Gold and silvers. Yeah, gold and silver looks weak, but there's no setup happening right now. Natural gas, we got S&P 500, US30, DAX. All right, so this is now the list number 1, and these are going to be my most important Forex pairs that I'm going to be watching throughout the day and throughout the week. And then we have Cardano and Sol that I'm watching closely if Bitcoin can get rejected at that range EQ area. This is a great question. Why do weekly and monthly open act as confluence? Well, why is I don't know why, but a, all I know is from backtesting the system extensively and backtesting different setups and adding the indicator to backtest if adding the indicator adds confidence to my system. I've actually found that like when the weekly open is confluent with the 4-hour 50 EMA and the 0.618 fib, the win rate has so far been 100%. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen and you have a good 4-hour bullish engulfing, it actually has a win rate of 100%. Now, that might sound amazing, but it only happens a couple of times every year. But the weekly and monthly open levels, they act as strong horizontal support and resistance areas. Why? I have no idea. All I know is that it's working, and it's working quite well. Now, they are not always going to be confident. I use them for entries, for TPs, and for trade management. They are my least important indicators of the system, right? But they are useful for different reasons. Like, for example, if the monthly open is right above the TP1, I will use the monthly open as TP1 instead of that fib. All right, guys, thanks for joining today. Now I'm going to go down to the square. Yeah, town square. I'm going to buy fruit. Is it fruit? No, it's not fruit. It's onion. I know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go down to town. I'm gonna buy onion. On chain onion. All right, guys, take care, and I will see you. Yeah, all right, guys, take care. See you next time. Bye.